Welcome back to Rochester Living with Mark Siwiec and Corey James Moran, brought to you by Elysian Homes by Mark Siwiec and Associates. This is episode 214. Should it be Rochester Living or Rochester Undead this week?
Oh,
yeah.
I like that, Corey.
Yes.
That's great. That's
Getting a little
awesome.
spooky. It's Halloween season.
Yep.
And we've got a wonderful guest. We've got Jenni Lynn, who is the founder of the Rochester Candlelight Ghost Walks, amongst other very spooky activities that we're going to talk about. A spooky speakeasy.
Oh.
How is that for A, alliteration, and B, just a fun event? Wait, spooky speakeasy at Selena's?
It's the Spirits of Selena's Haunted Speakeasy.
There we go.
That's a lot of consonants. Yeah.
For sure.
That's awesome.
So we're going to get into a lot of the famous haunts in the Rochester area, which they're quite abundant. I didn't realize how much was driven by the Prohibition era, actually.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were just talking before we were rolling here. So
that's awesome.
it's going to be some good history for sure.
Terrific.
All right.
Terrific.
First, let's jump into a little bit of real estate. We'll, literally,
What's there to talk
a little
about?
bit of real estate.
Yeah.
There's not
Okay.
a ton.
Great. And Jenni, it's very nice having you.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
So we'll get our numbers first. We did see a jump up in listings for Monroe County. It was 577 last week. We're up to 618 right now.
All right, and let's just put it out there.
There's stuff sitting.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
6 county region saw a little bit of a jump there. 1056 last week. We're at 1094 right now.
Okay.
Under contract and pending. Slightly up. 1086 last week. We're at 1091 now. 1658 for the 6 county region. We're at 1687. So we got everything's kind of lingering. 4 weeks of market left, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
If you call this market.
Yeah, I was going to say, or we're done now until January. I mean,
Are you throwing in the towel?
I think that we will. I think that we will more or less hold our own over the course of the next month, and then honestly, I mean, I don't know about you, but you must. The 10th of November, I just love that day. I circled on my calendar with a big red magic marker because that's the day when things start to slow down and we get to catch our breath for 2.5 months.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that.
Do you think November 10th already happened?
Well, yeah,
Feels a little bit like it.
Then there is that. I mean, yes, I am. Yes, no two ways about it.
Interest rates are just still flat, 6.38, 5.9 for the 15-year, and we're not getting any new economic data. Obviously, with the government shutdown lingering, that seems like that'll be resolved soon.
Yeah. That's going nowhere really fast. It's shocking. It's remarkable that all of last week and even the beginning part of this week, the stock market just continues to hit new highs. There's no underlying fundamental that says that the stock market should be doing as well as it is. I just think it's irrational exuberance. I hate to say it, but whether it was the stock market crash in 29, whether it was 1987, you go back to 2008, these major corrections in the stock market, what month did they all take place in? Yeah, month of October. So
Good times.
yeah, so I here we are. What, the 7th, the 8th, the 8th, something like the 7th, 8th. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a correction coming sometime in the next few weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, put an end to some of this exuberance and perhaps cause people to behave in a manner that is a little more reflective of reality. Yeah. So yeah.
I think this could be a byproduct of just the echo chambers that have been kind of created.
Go ahead. Tell me about what.
Just surrounding yourself with the news that you want to, as opposed to
Oh yeah, sure.
trying to see what's actually happening.
Yeah. I think that's part of it. But I would be really fascinated if we could find out institutional traders, like the big guys, J.P. Morgan Chase, all those guys. What are they doing in terms of their portfolios right now and their portfolio mix, and how much of their portfolio is now in cash or in bonds, safer, or gold, versus sort of, your day trader or your ma and pa, and how much of this exuberance and how much of the stock market is being lifted as a result of the day traders and the meme stock, guys, and So it could be interesting, but I'm a little concerned, a little bit worried, but I think it's, listen, let's face it, long overdue. We've had a great run of it,
Sure.
2008, 2010, from then until now. I mean, 15 years of just economic growth and prosperity in a manner that's really breathtaking if you think about it.
Okay.
So.
Just really a couple other things to touch on really quickly with the market. Those buyers that are remaining are definitely in a good position right now.
Yep.
But one thing to keep an eye on for those buyers, I mean, the strategy for the last 4.5, 5 years has always been list it low to try to bid it up to go high. We're seeing a lot of variation in the market now where it's not necessarily that's always the strategy. There's a lot of agents that are pricing it where they think it should sell, or maybe even a little bit higher. So when, what we used to coach our buyers is, here's the list price to look at, and then let's make sure we're baking in another $50K minimum from where it's actually going to go. Now I think there's a lot more detective work for the buyer's agents to look into the numbers of the specific properties that are being listed and figure out, all right, what are they doing?
Right.
So maybe having a little bit of a broader search from a price point standpoint is important.
Yeah, I think your point is a really important one. Buyers agents need to be doing their job more effectively. There needs to be actually, and they've got a new tool to actually help them in that regard.
Oh yeah,
the collaboration that was announced yesterday between
more Zillow, cool.
Yeah, exactly. The collaboration that was announced between ChatGPT and Zillow, I think that's really fascinating. I spent 45 minutes just playing with it yesterday morning. It's I hate to say it, it's very powerful. But it is going to put agents on their toes, and really wheat is going to be separated from chaff over the course of the next few years as agents are trying to figure out, holy shit, I've actually got work to do, something that newer agents haven't really understood over the course of the past 5.5 years. And now you layer on top of that the information that one can more easily derive as a result of saying to ChatGPT, please do some research through Zillow and tell me, whatever the case, what is my house worth? Or I'm thinking about purchasing this property. What do you think it's worth? So, agents still have plenty to do. I mean, they need to be able to tell their clients what to do in terms of staging, or what's going on in the market at that very moment in
Negotiations,
time.
which are back.
Negotiate, exactly. Yeah. They need to know how to market property. They need to know how to follow up once an offer is written and get the property to close. Still a lot of work to be done. But this is definitely a new wrinkle. And it's a great tool. It's no two ways about it. It's a great tool.
All right, ready to turn to our guest?
Let's do it. I'm very excited about this.
What's scary, by the way? What we're going to talk about next, or the real estate market / economy?
I'm saying the real estate market is far scarier than anything that we're about to hear.
So a little background really quick on Jenni. So you're a longtime paranormal investigator. You were inspired by your father. And then, of course, you lead the Rochester Candlelight Ghost Walks, amongst many other events that we'll get to. But let's start from the beginning. So elaborate on that. What got you into the paranormal?
Yeah, so my dad was very interested in the paranormal. He was military police over in Germany.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and he guarded haunted castles as part of his job. And he saw some very interesting things over in Germany, his time there. Got him way into the paranormal.
Did he ever share? What kind of stuff did he see?
No, he's actually kind of tight-lipped about what he saw in Germany. It almost seems to have shaken him a little bit. And then when he came back to the United States, he got really into Civil War history, so he spent a lot of time in Gettysburg.
Okay, yeah.
And took me to Gettysburg for the first time when I was 2 weeks old. He's carrying me around as he's going out looking for ghosts, and I've been ghost hunting ever
Literally
since.
born into it.
Born into it.
Okay, so your childhood, what was that like? Trying to, your friend says they saw ghosts at their house, you're going there, like that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we were definitely the cool house. We had the Ouija boards and the pendulums and the seances. So, all the kids wanted to come over, especially around Halloween and, do that sort of thing. And my dad would also take us on trips with our friends to Gettysburg every year, and we could go ghost hunting. And it was a pretty awesome childhood.
From your childhood, what do you remember? Any specific instances of kind of paranormal experiences?
I can tell you, one time in Gettysburg, my dad took me out to what is called Triangular Field. So a very bloody battle took place on this one location. It is said that the blood actually ran like a river down this hill. Wow. So my dad and I were going out into this field, and I have an EMF meter, which was kind of new at that time. We're talking sometime in the 90s. Electromagnetic field meter. Okay. So we're looking for any spikes in electromagnetic fields, which ghosts can cause. And so we're out in the middle of this field when all of a sudden there's this cool breeze that just kind of moves through both of us. And there's an odor associated with it. And the best way I can describe it is it was kind of musty, and it smelled like your grandparents' clothes that have been stored in the attic for decades.
Mothballs.
It's just that old, musty smell. And it felt like something moved right through us. And there was this, the best way I can describe it is a moan. We heard a moan. And my dad is not as brave as I am, so he actually took off, leaving me, a child, in the middle of this field with whatever entity had just come up upon
and
us.
how old were you at the time?
I was probably around 10.
Good dad.
Yeah. And that's not the only time he's abandoned me when a ghost came out.
Apparently, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he loves the idea of ghosts. He loves reading about them, but the few times he's had encounters, he usually heads out. And I'm like, I want to experience more. I want to get to the bottom of this.
It's fight or flight, right? It's natural human behavior.
He's got the flight, I got the fight.
There you go. Okay.
So he was particularly interested in battlegrounds.
Yes.
Were there other battlegrounds other than Gettysburg?
Yeah, we also would go to Antietam sometimes, and some of the small battlefields throughout New York, some Revolutionary War stuff. So yeah, been to all different kinds of things.
What do you think was the battlefield most populated by spirit?
It's spirits? Gettysburg.
Gettysburg,
acre
really?
for acre, that is the most haunted place in the world, I would say.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. And I've been really anxious to get there for years and years, and it just hasn't happened. So perhaps a reason to do so.
It's absolutely worth it.
Wow. So you're from Rochester?
I am, Henrietta.
Henrietta.
Yes.
And your dad's still alive?
Yep.
And is he still investigating spirits? Is he still interested in spiritualism?
He's still interested. He now resides at the New York State Veterans Home, and he's checking out the spirits there.
There you go.
There are ghosts in the Veterans Home as well.
So let's talk about Rochester, because we're pretty ripe here with some haunts, right?
Absolutely.
What are the most popular?
First thing everybody thinks
famous?
of is the Lady in White. So we have one of the most famous Lady in White stories in the country.
Are there multiple of these?
Oh, the Lady in White is almost a trope. So almost every region has their own Lady in White. And what makes a Lady in White is usually one, a female ghost with a sorrowful story, mournful story. Two, usually dressed in white. Sometimes they're brides. They've been abandoned or died right before their wedding, so you might see brides. And three, they're almost always by water.
Okay, interesting. Because this is Irondequoit, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, so ours is right on Lake Ontario.
Just give the brief synopsis for anyone watching or listening.
Yeah, I know
You've
nothing
never heard of this
about her.
one?
No.
Really? This
Nothing.
is shocking.
Oh, it's so famous here. So the general gist is we have a female ghost. Most people say her name is Eliza. And Eliza has lost her daughter. And there are variations on the story as to how her daughter was lost, but it's usually at the hands of a man. So Eliza dedicates her life to searching for her daughter after her daughter goes missing, and has continued that search into death.
Wow. And so where specifically does one see her in Irondequoit on the lake? Where specifically, and how often is she seen? Is there a means by which you can call out to her and hope that she... Give me some more.
Yeah, so she haunts the general lakeshore area, though she can travel. That's what kind of makes her a unique ghost here, is she's not limited to one spot, but most people frequently associate her with the White Lady's Castle, that castle structure up on Lakeshore Boulevard. But she can travel anywhere, and she seems to be really drawn to couples. So
interesting. Okay.
It used to be that couples would go up there and sort of use that area like a lover's lane.
Yeah.
And they quickly learned that that is not wise, because Eliza loves to go after the young men, scare them away from the young lady, and sort of protect the young ladies.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I usually tell people, if you're really looking for her, just bring some poor young man up there as a sacrifice, and you'll probably see her. But just ask the Irondequoit Police Department how many reports they get.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yep.
Tons and tons of sightings of this woman in white.
Oh my God! Wow, I had no idea, no clue. Tell us, if you would. Let's go back a little bit. Fox sisters. Tell us a little bit about the Fox sisters and who they were and the importance of them in terms of the spiritual history of Rochester.
Absolutely. So in nearby Hydesville, New York, spiritualism was born through the Fox sisters. The Fox sisters their family was renting this house, and the young ladies would hear taps, or what they called raps, so little knocks. And they soon devised a system where they would say, oh, knock twice for yes, once for no. And they would have conversations, and they would soon figure out how to turn those taps into letters, an alphabet. And they could get the ghost's name, his backstory. He said his bones were in the basement, but they soon would go on tour. and demonstrate these raps and talking to spirits through raps. It was called Rapomania. And it had everyone in a tight grip. Everybody was going to see them. They were selling out auditoriums, including here in Rochester. There's debate over, was this faked? Was this real? But it kind of gave birth to the religion of spiritualism. And now Rochester actually has quite an active church, Plymouth Spiritualist Church.
And they ended up moving to or settling in Cornhill, is that right?
Yeah, so the sisters all kind of went off on their own. One was pretty situated here in Rochester. I forget which one.
Okay.
But yeah, the church was kind of born out of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
You mentioned auditorium, so the Main Street Armory, another one on the list that's big for Rochester.
Absolutely. I don't know a ton about the ghosts there. I have gone on a ghost hunt there, and you will hear some very strange things in that armory late at night if you're ever allowed to go in there. It's a very creepy place.
Why is it that you haven't spent any time there? And where instead do you spend your time as you're exploring?
So it all depends on, who owns a particular place at a given time and if they're open to things. And initially, who owned the armory before was quite open to it until they've had some instances of crowd issues and such. And so they've kind of shied away from that paranormal stuff and focusing on other business ventures. But that's fine because there are so many places around Rochester. One of my favorite places that's very open to the paranormal stuff is Union Tavern down in Seabreeze. Another one, DeLand House in Fairport. So
I don't know any of these places.
Yeah, lots of great places that are open to the public. You can go in and have a meal and see if you have an experience.
Have you done any of these?
Several of them, yeah.
You have?
Or aware of them at least. Yeah, there's quite a bit. Probably the most famous, though, Mount Hope Cemetery.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's where we get to the Candlelight Ghost Walks. So when did this idea form? Because you formed this in 2004, right?
Correct. So before that, I had worked for some of the Gettysburg Ghost Walks for a little while. Loved it. We did have a theatrical ghost walk here in Rochester at the time, but nothing quite like what I experienced in Gettysburg. I went to Lilydale to a seminar on ghost hunting with a friend. And we were there, and we quickly realized we knew more about ghost hunting than the people giving the course. So by the end of that night, when we were doing a ghost hunt, all the other people on this tour were kind of clamoring around me and my business partner, asking us questions, wanting to see our equipment, and ignoring the instructors.
Sure, they love that.
Yeah, that went over well. And then on the drive home, we were talking, we could do something with this. And we very quickly came up with the name and the idea on that hour car ride home and just jumped right into it that September.
Okay. So I'm dead serious when I say I would really love to do this kind of thing. How often are you doing it? Is it up and running right now? How much longer will it go this season? What days, what nights? Where do we find the information about all this?
Yeah, so we have a website, rochesterghosts.com. We have tours every Friday and Saturday in October at 7 and 9 p.m. So Fridays at 7 is Mount Hope, and then 9 p.m. is Jack the Ripper. Saturdays is Spirits of Seabreeze at 7 and Lady in White at 9. And then the last two Sundays at 7, we have Haunts of Henrietta on the first Sunday. And then that very last Sunday of the month, 7 p.m., we have Phantoms of Fairport.
And for the first Mount Hope Ghost Walk, you said there was 130
Over
people?
100 people, somewhere 120, 130 people on that first tour.
And so do you just keep, the reason I'm asking the question is, I'd love to go this Friday. Do you end up selling out, or you just keep getting more and more people to join you?
Yeah, we've never closed off a tour yet. We are probably, as we go into the future here and we are seeing this sort of boost in popularity, we are probably going to have to start hiring more guides so that we can kind of separate large groups. But we were able to handle a group of 120, 130, no problem. I have a speaker system, and I actually find the large groups delightful. There's sort of this fun energy that takes over the crowd, and it's a lot of fun when you have a lot of people to witness things that might occur on the tours.
Can you describe what the experience is like?
Yeah, so...
Don't give anything away, of course.
Yes, of course. Our Mount Hope one, for example, that's a tour of the Mount Hope Ave neighborhood. So we go up towards the Remington House on Reservoir. We go down into Warner Castle, and we eventually end at the north gate of the cemetery. And we tell you all the local history and the true ghost stories, the real sightings of ghosts in that area and in those homes.
All right, I want to ask about, because this is the time of year when everybody's turning on movies. So I want to ask you 2 questions about films and Halloween films. One, do you have a favorite, just one that you enjoy? But 2, what is the film that you feel really captures most accurately spiritualism and the ability to connect with the other side?
Ooh, so my favorite film probably is Pet Sematary, the original, of course, from the 80s. I'm a big fan of that. I actually just went up on a trip to Maine to go see some of the filming locations, so super cool.
What, have you seen this?
Stephen King, yeah, of course.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it is a must-see.
Okay, all right.
Really?
I know I've never seen it.
Huh.
But I'm
Not the new one, the old one.
Yeah, you got to see the original.
I am going to stream it sometime in the next couple of weeks. Absolutely. That's great. All right, what's the one that you feel really captures most succinctly?
Ooh. You know, I'm woefully behind on modern horror. I am very much stuck in my 80s horror. So I don't know if I have a really great answer for that. But I will say we have a movie that is loosely based on The Lady in White here in Rochester. It's by a local director, Frank LaLoggia. Movie's titled Lady in White from 1988.
Oh, okay.
I always recommend that any Rochesterian watches this movie this time of year. It's an absolute must-see. It is not quite accurate to what we believe the White Lady's true story is, but it's fascinating.
And is that available on streaming services?
That might be a little tough. You might have to track down the original DVD.
Well, yeah, and then a DVD player on top of it.
Yes.
Well, yeah, there's that as well. I was going to bring it
Yeah.
up when we talk about kind of pop culture stuff at the end, but I guess now is kind of more an appropriate time. I mean, the number one trending thing on Netflix right now is Monster, the Ed Gein story, which inspired Psycho.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What was the other big one? Silence of the Lambs as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's disturbing to say the least. But that's definitely what's hot right
So
now.
have you seen it?
We're in the middle of it right now. It's a
in the middle?
series,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
there's
right.
I think we're on episode 4 right now. Do you know the story?
I just read it the other day. Like it sounds gruesome, so
Very.
gruesome that I can't wait to watch it.
There we go. Okay, we get in the spirit with it.
And it's Ryan Murphy, right?
Yes, correct. So
Yeah,
American
yeah.
Horror Story, and I guess he did Glee, right?
He did Glee, but did you see the, Jeffrey? And we're getting off topic here, but he did the Jeffrey Dahmer series a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Well, I guess Monster this is the 3rd season, and they pick a different figure to follow each time. So this is the 3rd one. Can we get back to ghost hunting a little bit? You talked about a little bit of the gear. What kind of stuff do you bring on a ghost hunt?
Oh man, we have the basics. You got your EMF meters. We do still carry recorders to try and catch EVPs, electronic voice phenomena. We've got some really fun stuff. We have spirit boxes. We have an ovilus.
What's a spirit box?
Spirit box is a modified radio, so it's meant to sweep the radio stations and allow spirits to sort of come through with words. And I will say it's been pretty eerie. So we've used the spirit box at Union Tavern many times. And one of them would keep saying Elias, which is one of the people that help us out sometimes.
Oh, fun.
They'll say his name, and it's not a common name. It's not something you expect to hear on the radio or in a dictionary.
Do you think they're happy with Elias or not?
They like Elias.
Okay, that's
Every
good.
ghost loves Elias.
Okay,
Hi,
good.
Elias, if you see this. But yeah, he's president of the Spiritualist Church locally, and he is a psychic medium, very, very gifted gentleman. And yeah, the ghosts love seeing Elias coming because they know, hey, we got somebody we can talk to.
How can you tell the difference between again, I'm like boiling it down here, but for lack of a better term, like a happy ghost and a not happy ghost?
So usually you can just walk into a room and feel it. Sometimes you get that really heavy, dense feeling when you walk into a room and it's almost uninviting. And that's usually a ghost that is territorial, that is not welcoming you into their space.
We were talking before we started rolling, and I was mentioning, I've talked about on the podcast before, there was a showing I did in Fairport where that was the exact feeling that I felt. And I didn't say anything to my client. And about 2 minutes into the showing, she turned and said, "It feels weird in here. Can we go, please?" And that was exactly how I described it. It felt heavy. It felt dense. It was very unwelcoming, yeah.
And I've had something similar. Well, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, a couple of things. One, I had some clients who walked through a property on Council Rock, and we got to the foyer, and she said, "Something just passed through me. Very, very cold. We're leaving." We were in that house in the foyer for maybe 45 seconds before she was. A few days later, I walked somebody else through. Nope. And she lasted maybe 5 or 7 minutes. And she's like, there's just something,
Really?
There's a spirit in here. But now that I'm thinking about it, we're actually, so we're recording right now in a house that I used to live in. We're on Westminster Road in the city between Park Ave and East Ave. And when we lived here, Duffy, my partner, would always encounter spirits in this house.
Interesting.
And I'm so glad we're going through this. The tenants would always discuss. So finally one day I brought somebody in and I said, we were having a large party. It was a holiday party. Brought somebody in and I said, we continue to hear from our tenants that there's a spirit living here in the house. I understand that you're in touch with the other side. He says, yeah, absolutely. I said, well, can you tell me a little bit more? He's like, well, let's go upstairs. And he brought me upstairs and he brought me to the bedroom in which the spirit, Duffy, always felt the spirit of the bedroom, the spirit in the bedroom. I said, what else can you tell me? His name is Teddy. I was like, oh, okay, well, what else? Well, I don't really know much more. Literally within 48 hours, I'm doing some research on the property. The house is owned by the Ward family, Frederick Ward, his wife, Hortense, their daughter, and their son, whose name was Teddy. And like,
my goodness.
Incredible. And I could go on and on and on about people hearing pianos playing, the tinkling of glasses, all sorts of windows, doors being open all the time. It was pretty wild. It was really insane.
Are those the behaviors of, I guess, more or less a happier ghost? They're just kind of like, hey, a little nod, I'm here, that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's just sort of like they're still living here. They're just kind of going about their life, and sometimes that sort of bleeds over into our reality.
Well, and I do think it was a happy ghost because one night I wake up and Duffy is saying, I'm hearing Duffy, and he's like, no, and no. And then there's this enormous crash, and I jump out. I was like, what the hell was that? The books on the nightstand on his side of the bed come crashing down. I was like, what the hell is going on? Teddy had come and was trying to introduce Duffy to some friends of some sort. And by the way, if you know Duffy is not Duffy's not a fabulist. And Duffy is not one to tell stories. Duffy is not one to call attention to himself. Duffy's just quiet. He's a very kind person. Yeah. So that's as close as, but I'm just so shut off and walled off to that kind of thing. But yeah, are you sensing anything here in this house at this point in time?
No, not right now. Feels pretty good right now, but that could change. We'll see.
Yeah, well, and Duffy had said that, like, after a while, like, the spirit just seems to have passed and just gone on. So,
does that happen too? And this kind of disappear or go somewhere else? Or
yeah, they move to the next plane of existence. Absolutely, and it's up to them. Just like we have free will in our lives, they do too, and they choose what they want to do and when they want to do it.
So it's like kind of in between.
Yep.
Really interesting stuff. What would you say because there might be people watching or listening that are skeptics. What would you say to them?
You know, it can be difficult to change a skeptic's mind with just words. I always encourage people to go out, go to the haunted places, see what you experience. Just be open to whatever may happen. It's absolutely fine to be skeptical. You know, I have a scientific brain. I like evidence. I like to try and get evidence through equipment and all of that sort of thing. So totally understand the skepticism, but go experience it. Some things just cannot be explained, and I have had some crazy experiences that I will never be able to explain with science.
What kind of findings do you get with some of the gear? Because again, I think that's probably the closest thing, right, to science is having that evidence.
Yeah, so I love my Ovilus because it's basically a little box that has a dictionary in it, and it's an EMF meter. It's got 2 little antennae. So the thought process is that the ghosts can sort of interact with this meter using their energy and pull words from the dictionary. And, you know, sometimes you will get completely accurate answers. And for instance, I get names all the time. Sometimes it'll say my name and it'll spell it correctly.
Oh, interesting.
Which is unusual because I don't spell my name in the typical way. It said Elias's name. I went to this chapel that had burned down, and the first word I got on there was fire.
Oh,
wow.
So yeah, it can give you some eerily accurate answers. Other equipment, we have what's called an SLS camera. So they've taken a tablet, connected it to basically one of the old Xbox Connect cameras, and it picks up images of people. And so you'll see yourself on there as kind of like a stick figure, and sometimes there's an additional stick figure.
Oh, interesting.
So you'll have 3 living people in the room. You'll see 3 stick figures, and then, there's this 4th one over here dancing. What is this? And sometimes they're small, like children, and absolutely fascinating. We recently used it up in Lackawanna in the library there, and got a little small child up in the attic on that camera.
In Lackawanna, Buffalo?
Yep.
Really? What were you doing there?
So the library is known to be haunted, and they invited us to come and check it out. So we were hanging out up there in the haunted attic, and got some very interesting evidence. We're actually going back there soon for another investigation.
Oh, that's great. So you mentioned earlier that you had, as a child, a Ouija board. Do you still use a Ouija board?
I don't typically use them. I've never actually had one work. So I don't find them super great tools, but I do collect them. I do think they're beautiful from an art standpoint.
They are beautiful.
Yeah.
There's that famous scene in The Exorcist where Reagan is trying to communicate. Oh, she actually isn't simply trying to, but she actually is communicating with Captain Howdy, and that's the beginning of the possession. So yeah, nothing on your end, and your friends, your colleagues. Do they have any success with Ouija boards?
No, most people I've met, have played with them as a kid. One of your friends is kind of a jerk and moves it on purpose and then lies about it. But I've never seen anybody really have much success. And then there's, of course, a whole lot of people that are just terrified of them, don't want anything to do with them.
Well, I guess the stigma is that you're opening yourself up to that side of the plane, right? So you don't think that's kind of a bunk. That's more gimmicky.
I think it's more about the person than any of the tools you use. So some people, I've worked demonic hauntings. Usually the kind of people that have some sort of demonic attachments have drug problems, alcohol problems, severe depression. Something else is going on that sort of weakens their aura, and that sort of allows things to sort of break through. But in general, I don't find there's demons around every corner. We're pretty safe.
That's good. Not dead ones anyway.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through some of your tattoos, some of your many tattoos, and in particular your left hand, the top?
This one?
Yeah.
So this is astrology. This is just all the different zodiac signs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I've got earth, air, fire, water symbols. The pentagram, which is earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. But yeah, I've got this whole arm is zodiac. I've got all my different families, zodiac signs, kind of star signs. I got my alien, and then this is my spooky arm. I've got my ghost up here somewhere.
That's a beautiful ghost.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was one of my first tattoos. I was in the hospital in 2019, and my nurse had a ghost tattoo. I'm like, you know what? It's time. I need a ghost tattoo.
There we go.
So
Corey,
have you seen the ghost? It's beautiful. The ghost has a pet.
Oh, an owl. So
an owl, but there's also something a little. Is that a little?
And then
like,
a little ghost. So this is actually modeled after a lamp my dad gave me when I was a child. Looks exactly like this. It has the adult ghost, little child ghost, and then the owl. So I think of my dad as the big ghost, me as the little ghost, and my mom is in spirit, and she loved owls. So I think of her as the owl.
Oh, that's great. I mean, they're beautiful. They're really beautiful.
My artist is fantastic. I love her, Pam Sanders.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, and actually, now that I'm looking, that is a Ouija board reader, isn't it?
A planchette, yes.
A planchette.
Yep. And it says, as above, so below.
That's going to help you in the New York Times crossword puzzle at some point.
I just memorized the word.
Yeah.
A planchette. Planchet?
TTE.
TTE.
Yep.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right.
And I got the planchette on my neck here as well, yeah.
Oh, my God.
We mentioned it kind of towards the top, but maybe we can elaborate on it as well. The Haunted Speakeasy at Salinas. Talk about that event that's coming up. When is that, and how can people
That's Tuesday the 28th. I think it's a Tuesday. Yes. And it starts at 7 p.m. Do have to reserve through Salinas, but we're going to do a whole talk on the history of Prohibition in the Rochester area.
Which is more prevalent than we realize.
We've got quite a history here. You've got all the bootlegging and those tunnels to move around the alcohol that came from Canada, and there are a lot of ghost stories associated with it as well from all the different taverns. So we're going to kind of go over that and then, have some good food, some good drinks, costume contest. Should be a good time.
Very fun.
Are you going to any of these? You got the kids, so that might be a little bit different.
I'm not going to much these days.
I'm really, that sounds interesting, but I really think I'm going to try and grab Duffy and go on Friday night.
It sounds awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah. 7 o'clock. You said is
7
is when.
o'clock is for Mount Hope on Friday.
Yeah, that's the one that I would really love to do. Yeah.
Nice. Anything else?
I want to know what I want to know. It sounds like one last thing, and then we'll talk about what's going on culturally in Rochester and around the globe. What kind of work do you do in terms of a day job?
This is my day job.
I love that. So often we just had a few different artists or people associated with the arts on recently, and I love when it is that somebody is able to follow their passion or fulfill who it is that they're supposed to be by making enough money that they're actually able to survive. So whether it's an artist or whether it's a spiritualist, I think that's beautiful. Congratulations. That's
Thank
really
you.
great.
I'm very blessed. Love what I do. And, when it's in October, I do a lot of travel videos. I make videos about different haunted locations throughout the country. I pop a lot of previews up on TikTok if you ever want to check it out.
Yeah, we can share your handles and whatnot.
Yeah.
What's your handle?
At Rochester Ghosts on all the platforms.
There we go. Easy to find.
That's very easy to find. That's awesome. That's great. All right, what do we got, bud?
Let's see what's going on in Rochester. Some more haunted things that you could do. Dark Matter Screamworks. That's on Dewey and Grease. That's 3 different types of haunted houses that you can go through. There's also a family-friendly kids day, so they don't get too scared of it. Although, I think you as a child probably would have been fine.
Oh yeah, fearless.
Nightmare Manor haunted house as well. That's on West Henrietta Road. Out towards my neck of the woods in Canandaigua, Halloween Fest at Lincoln Hill Farms. Have you ever been out to Lincoln Hill Farms, Mark?
No, I haven't.
It's very cool. And they do a lot of fun events throughout the year, and their Halloween Fest is a very good time as well.
I know your family, your extended family is very, very, they love Lincoln Hill Farms.
It's a great time. The Spooktacular at the Seneca Park Zoo is happening as well. And then the Rochester Public Market is also doing their Halloween at the market.
Oh, there we go.
I think the only other thing that I wanted to touch on for Rochester was that we made it on a national show. Mark, you shared the video. John Oliver last week tonight actually featured the street we're on right now, Westminster.
That's right. I just posted it up there. I was like, wow, look at this. And yeah, actually, that video is done very, very well on my personal Facebook page. Have you seen social media with our previous guest, who is Adam, who is the pumpkin carver? We've got like 50-some thousand people who responded, I think, on Instagram.
Wow!
Yeah. It's insane. He took off. He blew up. Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
But he's just such a
professional
good guy.
pumpkin carver / sculptor. Very interesting last episode. If you missed that,
very interesting. Hell of a nice guy. Very talented. Really, really awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, the backstory, there were some roofers. They were up on the roof and ICE was trying to get them. And basically a protest broke out in that moment. And what was the woman that was interviewed? She said, if ICE is going to come bother these guys while they're trying to work, I'm going to come bother ICE.
Yeah. And then ICE drove off with a few flat tires.
Yes, they did.
Only to pull around the corner and finally there was they had to call a flatbed to drive them away.
Yep. So yeah, if you missed that episode, always interesting to see Rochester on the national stage.
Yeah. People were really responding to that.
I shared earlier I was watching Monster: The Ed Gein Story. What are you watching right now?
I'm at a little bit of a lull. I'm continuing. We've gotten 2 more episodes of the FBI thriller that I had mentioned.
Oh, Task. Yeah, we did start that as well.
Oh, you did start that?
Mm-hmm.
And would you agree it's well done, it's well written,
Yes.
the story arc is great, the acting is unbelievable.
My wife's a little impatient, not enough murder in the beginning. She only watches it needs to be.
Tell her it gets plenty violent. Yeah.
Can we get some of those meters for my wife and to see if there's any demonic possession happening? 'Cause sometimes I wonder.
That and the morning show has started.
Yeah, it's on the list.
It's okay. Again, as has been the case with the first 3 seasons, I'm really loving the design, the architecture, but in particular, a lot of the furniture that's being placed in these offices. It really is. I mean, these sets are really, really beautiful. I think they may be jumping the shark a little bit here. I think I may have mentioned this on a previous episode.
Yeah.
Are you watching anything interesting? Are you listening to anything interesting?
So I like to go back over my favorites usually this time of year. So right now I'm going through Sabrina the Teenage Witch from the 90s.
Oh, there you
Love
go.
it.
That's good.
Obsessed with it.
Yep.
I like to rewatch a lot of things.
Fantastic.
I have it's a yearly tradition with me, but sometime in the next 2 weeks, in addition to Pet Sematary, the original, which I am going to be adding to my list.
Got your list, yeah.
I have to every year for, I don't know, 30 years, I watch The Exorcist. I love The Exorcist. It's just, Duffy hates watching it with me because I feel compelled to recite the entire movie from beginning to end. So he usually gets up, just like goes into the room and does something else. It's a great film, though. One of my favorites. So
here we go.
Yeah. So yeah, not a lot going on, but I'm hoping that over the course of the next few weeks there will be more. I still want to get to the Charlie Sheen documentary that you were
very interesting.
Yeah, you said it was really great. Yeah,
very
so
truthful.
We'll see.
Very honest. Yeah. Extremely honest.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
All right, Jenny. One last time, if people want to go on the walks, where can they go?
Hit up rochesterghosts.com or Rochester Ghosts on any of the socials.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again for taking some time to join us. Appreciate that.
Yeah, this has been great.
We'll see if there's any ghosts in the walkout.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting. Thanks so much, Jenny.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Talk to you again next week.